couldn't tell you.
What is your favorite memory of your father?
Him taking me horseback riding at 4 years old. 5 years old.
Oh, where did you go horseback riding?
In Lombard.
Lombard?
No.
Lombard.
Lombard.
That was the schlummy part of
Lombard. Your dad took you horseback riding?
I've got a picture of me in the album. I've got to find that album.
Yes, I'd love to see that.
Because it's got that picture with my mom and me in traction, and it's got me up on the horse.
I've seen those pictures.
Yeah.
I haven't. Do you feel like you've seen those?
What are you doing? What are you?
Doing video.
Oh, of what?
You.
So where would that album be?
It's somewhere in my apartment. I've got to dig out those boxes.
Wow.
It's somewhere.
You have so much.
Big.
You have
I know,
so
but
much in that
I'm saying there's
apartment.
boxes back in
Okay.
my closet that I know
Okay,
it's
and
in.
so what else? What was your favorite trait of your dad?
Trait?
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
What part of his personality do you think was most impressive to you, or what?
He got along with everybody. He could talk to anybody. He had a good sense of humor. He could talk to anybody. He had a good personality.
He was very much like Jackie Gleason. If you saw Jackie Gleason,
I could see that.
Oh,
Because he
yes.
was a big personality, right?
Yeah,
He had a big personality.
Wynn was very much like Jackie Gleason.
very detail oriented.
And what about your mom?
Oh,
What do you miss most about your mom?
Uh-oh. Oh, that was interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna make him cry.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't remember. It's been so long. She died in 1970. So
Isn't that amazing? 45
50,
years.
more than that.
No. Because
Seven.
I was 9
70.
months old.
Yeah.
And I'm 46.
45 years ago.
Yep.
45?
So I don't.
What made her a great mom?
Putting up with my dad.
No, that didn't make her. That made her a great person. What made her a great mom?
Understanding all of us, dealing with all of us.
You totally loved your mom.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And what was her greatest gift?
Me.
Oh, that's very cool.
Cute.
No, that's interesting.
Well, because when you
But
think
wait,
about when
but you know what's
Charlotte talks about
interesting?
her sister,
Right.
and she said there was not a day that went by that Charlotte did not think
Right.
about your mom.
Right.
And she talked about all the amazing things.
Yes.
And one of the things that always came up was her ability to play the piano.
Right.
But it was also, wasn't she kind of one of the boys?
She was a tomboy.
she
She
was
loved
a
to play
tomboy.
baseball, and she was a Chicago Cubs fan and a San Francisco Giants fan. And,
But
yeah.
the difference too, and this is fine. I mean, when you talk about your dad, it's sort of one way, and then the second Nani's brought up, you completely change your demeanor, and so.
Well, I think I changed my demeanor because last December? It's been a year since I went to that meeting,
Yes.
right.
and I'm thinking of going back
So and
to do
What
that again.
medium?
tell us again. You told us last year.
I've never heard this.
Yes, you have. You were sitting
I
right
think
there.
no. I think mom had gone up to bed. It was Wendy, you, and me.
No, she was sitting there. I went to a medium in December of last year in Torrance, and I went there because I have a friend who her daughter was killed in a drunken driving accident. There were 3 girls killed instantly, and her daughter, her younger daughter, her sister, really had a hard time dealing with it. And they found this medium up in Torrance, and they went up there, and this daughter was having trouble accepting that she died and was killed.
Her sister.
Her
right?
sister.
Her sister.
The understanding, is she all right? Is she, and the medium told her, yeah, I can see her now, and she's knitting a blanket, and she's laughing, and she's fine, and she doesn't want you to worry about her. So anyway, I get this whole story. So I said, that's something I really want to do, and I did it. It cost me $300, cash money, $300 for a 1 hour session.
And what was your one question?
I had many questions.
I thought you had a main question.
Well, I had a main question: is there a heaven, and is mom there with my dad, and are they all together? And so.
So what?
And he said,
what
yeah.
happened?
Well, they said, yeah, your mom is here now, and she was talking to him to talk to me and said, don't
The
worry.
medium was a man.
The medium was a couple. There was a man and a wife, and the man did the medium thing, and the woman did the photography and took pictures and so forth.
But didn't they answer some questions that you
Yeah,
said
I
nobody else could know
Yeah,
about?
oh no, they knew. They answered some things about things that had happened to me that I didn't tell them. They didn't know who I was. I was some guy coming off the street. Talked about me getting hit by the car. Talked about me being in the body cast. I mean, they knew a lot of things that my mom was telling her.
Without you saying a word.
Not saying a word.
Yeah.
And my mom said that don't worry. When you get here, we'll be here waiting for you. And don't worry. I mean, you'll go. We'll come to get you when it's time.
Aww.
And I said, ask him. I said, well, when's that going to be? And she said, well, they don't know that yet, or they're not prepared. She's not prepared to say that yet.
You really liked the mediums that
Yeah.
you spoke
Well, I
with?
believed it. I mean, everything he said it made sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't know me from Adam.
Right.
He didn't call somebody and say, who is this guy Wayne Williams and where's he coming
I
from?
love that.
And,
You know what? I believe that. And if
and it gave me a comfort zone. At least A, I know there's a heaven. I honestly believe there is a heaven. That B, we go someplace.
right.
Thank God. And I'll see my mom and dad again. I really believe that. Because she said, I'm here. Everything's been fine. It's been lonely, but now I've got your dad here, and I've got Charlotte, or at the time Bill here. I don't think Charlotte.
Yes.
No, Charlotte was still gone. Is gone, right?
It was a year ago.
She said, yeah.
Oh, did she have Charlotte?
She said Charlotte and Bill. I've got my sister here. I've got my husband here. And,
Well, Charlotte, when did Charlotte pass away? 4 years
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
About
anyway,
4?
yeah. So she said everything's
Wow.
fine. I'm fine. I miss you guys. So.
And yet Jeannie says that your mom said to her, I will let you know how it is. And Jeannie has said she has been waiting for a signal from your mom,
Really?
and she's never received the signal yet.
Oh, no.
She said to me, tell Wayne that when it's time for him to come here, he'll know before we pull him up.
Very cool. I agree with
So-
you. I believe that there is heaven, and I believe that there is
Honey, can you
something
shut that off?
after this life.
That's very
No,
annoying.
Wayne, I agree with you.
I do. No, and that gave me full. And that's why I was going to go back, because after all the health I've had,
Right.
I thought, okay, maybe I ought to go back and kind of fine tune this thing a little bit and go back and say, okay, Mom, where am I?
Yeah. But are you looking for an answer of?
I'd like to have some idea if I could get it. I'd like to know. I mean, I've already been told. I've already been told by the doctors there's no other avenues, and I'm not sure. With the three of us sitting here, four of us, I'm not sure I'll ever do another bypass.
Well, I can understand that. I mean.
And he says, I don't want to talk about what my option is. And I said, do I have an option? Because if I didn't have another option, I wasn't going to change my insurance. I figured, why? He said, no, yes, you do. You have an option. And I said, what is that going to be? He said, Wayne, I don't want to take our time up talking technical stuff that you wouldn't understand anyway. Let me say you do have an option, and let me say you should be with a PPO. Because he said,
Then you have options.
He said, well, then you'll have an option to move into it right away. He said, if you don't, they may not send you back to me. The network may send you someplace else
Right.
with no history.
Right.
If you come back to me, we know who you are. You know, you've been in our care.
Right.
So he said, that's your option. He said, I highly recommend you make the change. I said, it's damn expensive. He said, I understand that, but
It's your life.
he said, that's your call. So he said, but I recommend you make the move. I said, fine.
Okay, so tell me a little bit. So your grandkids, who are a little too young to really care right now, what is your lineage? Where do the Williams come from? Where does Pa and Nani, what is their history that you know of?
Southern Illinois.
And before that, do you know? Do you know when?
I don't know for sure. No,
Okay.
I don't know. There's somewhere. I honestly don't know.
English? I feel like.
There's
Williams is
Well, yeah, I
English
feel
for
like
sure.
that's-
English and Spanish, but I honestly don't know where.
Wasn't it your father's
where-
parents who came to stay in Hillsboro?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
your
he was.
father's father
He'd gone around the bend then.
had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and my dad had to
sort
walk
of
him on the
wander
plane
away.
and put the seatbelt on and tell the stewardess, don't let him get up, you know. And then Al in Chicago had to go on the plane. That's when they would allow, you know, they had to come on the plane and literally undo the seatbelt and with my grandmother and take him off the plane and so forth. So, you know, and he was a chemist at Sanford Inc.
Really?
Yeah, in fact,
Al?
he and
Your grandmother?
Oh, your grandfather.
my grandfather,
Oh.
my dad's father, and he was at Sanford Inc. And he could have been, from what I've been told, millionaire many times over because he invented things ink-wise for Sanford Inc.
Same.
And they took the patents.
What's his name? Jesse?
No, that's
Oh.
Arlen.
Arlen. Was there a Jesse?
Yes.
Jesse?
Jessie is his wife.
Oh, the wife.
Jessie
Okay.
Williams was my grandmother,
Okay.
my dad's mother,
Okay.
and then there was my mother's father who died at 62 from a heart attack.
Your
My Charlotte, my mom's father,
father.
Who was with Household
who was
Finance.
with Household Finance. He hired my dad as an
Your
office boy.
grandfather.
Yes.
My grandfather.
And so they
And when I was
inherited-
born,
He died at 62.
he died at 62 of a heart attack, and he brought my dad into the business as an office boy in a Household Finance Corporation.
Yeah.
And
and then-
Charlotte
and
and,
then-
your mom inherited stock from
Yeah,
your dad.
from their dad.
From their dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you were talking to your grandkids and they were sitting right across from you right now and you wanted to share what was most amazing about your mom, your dad, Charlotte, your brother, your sister,
Well,
seriously.
That's a lot of people.
Well,
That's a lot of people.
let's start with you.
Well-
What would you want your grandkids to know about you if they were old enough to sit here and have an adult conversation? I would say you're one of the most loving fathers anyone can imagine, and every single friend I think we have ever had that has gotten to know you has literally said how lucky we are to have you as a dad.
Did you notice how he sat forward to
Well,
hear the
no,
rest of
it is true. It is true.
Yes, it is.
And yes. You've always been a very involved father.
Well,
Totally.
because I feel without you two guys, my life wouldn't have been the same. It would have fallen apart faster.
Okay, so we held them together for a little while.
No, you're my basis. I mean, you are the reason for my life, both of you. So
And if you wanted them to know something about your mom and dad,
they were both loving grandparents.
your parents,
My parents.
but as parents,
But your mom
Like
never
as
got
people.
a chance to be
But yeah, my mom never. I mean, you guys.
we were,
You were 9 months
9
old when
months
she
old.
died. You were 3 years old, or going to be 3.
yeah.
I mean, you know, they
But
died
as a
very, very
mom.
young.
But as a mom.
She was a dedicated mom. She lived her life for her kids.
Oh, that's interesting. You know,
I mean, she did. She never had a job in her life, never needed a job in her life, never wanted a job in her life. Her life was her kids,
Yeah.
you know.
And your auntie Char did she? I mean, your mom's sister Charlotte
My mom's sister Charlotte
became what to you?
became my mother after my mom died.
And how old? Oh, that's right.
She was, let's see, my mom was 52 when, no, my
55.
mom was 55 when she died. So Charlotte was what, 53? A couple
She
years
was the
younger?
baby sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was 52 or 53. when
I
my
always
mom died.
felt like Charlotte was. I felt like Charlotte was warmer than your mother. For me, Charlotte was a warmer personality.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. They were different personalities.
they were very
Yeah.
different
But that was his
personalities.
mom, not.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm just saying, I knew both of them, and I just felt like Charlotte was a little warmer.
Well, there you go.
So
Well-
what do you know about your? Do you know anything more about your family's heritage when they came to the United
No,
States or
I do
anything
not.
like that?
I do
Okay.
not. I have not.
Do you know anything beyond your grandparents? What about your great grandparents?
Well, my grandfather's sister was Aunt Ola, who lived down on the farm in
Oh.
Champaign, Illinois.
Your
And we would
grandfather's sister?
my father's father, Arlen, his sister was Aunt Ola. She was my great aunt
Who was married to?
who was married to George Haynes,
Right.
and they lived in Whiteheath, Illinois, and they had that big farm. And every summer, we would go down and spend a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks down on the farm. And they had
All of
horse.
you?
Where's
No,
Russ down
No,
in?
they would. Mom and Dad would send us,
Where are they?
Bob and I, down to
Okay.
the farm for the summer. Give them some break.
Andy, where's Russ when he just? I mean,
I
Russ.
Sweetie?
think they're in the basement.
We're in the middle of a videotape here. You can say hi.
And we would go down every summer, and that's where Bob also tried to put the hit on me. He threw me off out of the hayloft.
The first hit?
What did he have against you?
I don't know, but he threw me off out of the hayloft. So I mean,
Did
from
this-
the from the
did
hay,
this
from the
not-
hayloft down to the cement or the gravel thing, and you know,
Did you get hurt?
oh yeah, I got the wind knocked out of me, and I couldn't breathe for. It was a terrible experience.
Did this ever happen to Jack or anyone?
No, I was just me. He just put the hit on me.
And what did your mom do?
Oh, well, my mom was back up in Chicago in Lombard, so she.
Oh,
would,
she wasn't there.
No, she wasn't
To
there.
protect you.
Yeah, to protect me. So I know came running out with the spoon, and you know Bob took off and went out in the pasture, and eventually came back, and
So what did you do there on the farm? for
we'd
the summer?
play. We'd ride horses, and we'd drive tractors, and they had a guy by the name, the hired hand his name was Ross, and he lived in a house down towards the barn, you know, and we'd go down and collect eggs every morning and ride horses and drive tractors, and we'd play all summer, you know.
Who was your good buddy who was down there?
My good buddy, not at the farm. I didn't
No?
have a good buddy.
How old were you when you went to the
Oh,
farm?
we started going down there, I think, when I was like 10, 11, something like
And
that.
how'd you get there? Train?
Train.
And
Did
you and
Jeannie
Bob?
ever go?
Not alone. Gene. By the time we got to by the time Gene was born and then Jack was born, we were older, and then and then they would come bring Gene and Jack down to pick us up or something.
So it was you and Bob.
It was Bob and I pretty much that
Who
did the
that
summer
left?
sticks.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's why Grandpa loves horses.
And so I know your sister is near and dear to your heart. What do you love most about your sister?
she's always there. Whenever I need anything, even if I don't ask her for it, she shows up.
And I think
Like it 4 years
goes
ago.
for us too. It goes for your daughters too.
Yes.
Your sister
Yeah.
is always there for us.
Right. I know she is.
Yeah, she's
Always.
amazing.
So, she's always there.
And her wish.
She comes out whether I need her or not. Like when she came out,
Right.
you guys were off doing your thing, and then she came down, and the next thing I know, you picked her up, or
Wait. For
somebody
what?
picked her up.
Mom, I think. Did you pick
Wait,
Gina?
for what? What?
Oh, did you pick her
Mom
up at
picked-
the LAX when I was
Speaking
in
of
you?
somebody who's always there for you.
You know, At USC. I mean,
Yes.
that's when I was in USC. Yeah.
I
so-
picked her up and I took her back.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that's.
Do you have a question you've always wanted to ask Grandpa? About him as a little boy? About his parents? Madison Elizabeth?
Kind of putting
What-
her on the spot.
It's okay. Think of one question that would, what would you want to know about your grandpa? Because he used to be a little boy. He used to be 13. What is one question you would love to know about your grandpa?
Well, she's thinking, can I mention something about Aunt Jeannie?
Yes.
Aunt Jeannie has been so wonderful to you guys, to your children, etc. And I know Aunt Jeannie's one thing, when she's no longer here, she's hoping that all of us here will do the same thing with her children
Right.
and her grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big
Well,
deal.
and that's why we do the reunions.
Yes.
That's why the reunions are so important.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why they're important.
Maddie? No?
Think about it.
You can think about it, sweetie. Wendy, what is
I'll
one
be here for a
question you
while.
have?
I said I'll be here for a while.
What is a question
I
you
got
have,
12
Wendy?
days or 13 days or 17 days.
So let's see. What one?
Because and this came up because Mom and I were talking a week or so ago, and she said, "I have so many questions. If I could ask my parents today, I have a laundry list of questions that I just never asked them. So it's kind of our opportunity, and this is what made me think of
And what are
it.
you going to do with this video?
I don't know.
But you know
I mean,
what?
you're not putting it on the internet.
Wait,
I
No.
absolutely not.
For us.
It's for your grandkids, really.
One for us.
And us, and just like that, just to talk about, like, wouldn't it have been nice to do this with Charlotte, to really
Oh.
sit down and ask her about her
She was
relationship with her
so-
sister
She
and
was
her
so
parents.
open about everything.
Yes.
She was.
She would have been incredible to interview like this.
Yes. So
What is the one thing about Charlotte?
Oh, I don't know.
No, just
there's so many. Oh
but
my
give
god.
me one.
I can't. I don't know. I mean, she was just a very loyal, loving person. And anything I needed, she was going to be there for us. For me and all of us, all four of us.
She's our genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
Just like with Jeannie, just like with Charlotte, when Charlotte was with us, I think any one of us could have gone to Charlotte with anything we needed, and she would have somehow been able to help on
Yes.
some level.
Yes.
And I think Jean does the same exact thing, and I think Jack does too. I think Jack, if you,
Mm-hmm.
it's on
Yes.
video.
I know.
No, your brother absolutely adores you and your sister, and I know he adores Wendy and me.
He does.
He does.
He does.
And he has the same birthday as Wendy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Hello.
That is true.
Okay, Wendy.
What?
You know, one thing about
That's true.
Charlotte,
What are we?
Charlotte always said, "You are so adorable. You are so sweet." She
She had a great.
had the
Outlook.
most positive outlook
Yes, she did.
about everybody's life.
She did.
Okay.
Okay, crap.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye.